Okay, okay, Mary, today's talking to is this. You want to feel good about yourself. You know that you are in your happy place when you feel like you're doing the right thing, you know, or the next right thing, whatever that next right thing is. And you want to feel that people react to you in a positive way. They react to uh, your behavior towards them in a good way. So you're just kind of feeling, and it's not out of sorts, that wouldn't be it, but you really realize that you want to make the world a better place. And what happened the other day when you were at Schnucks, um, you just saw this one woman. She was a black woman, which is kind of irrelevant, but you just right away then in the refrigerated section, you thought she is looking out at the world through her set of eyes. I have no idea her story. And then you thought, that in the past, there may have been times where you had a negative thought about the person, fleeting that it might be. It wasn't good. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't funny. It wasn't fun. It was just kind of negative. And you thought about it that day, and it was just weird how it happened because you thought about, she is looking through life through her set of eyes, kind of like you don't know what a person's been through until you walked in their shoes, but I'm not looking through their set of eyes. They are. I don't know their story. So then when you were in line, I don't know why you did this, but it was really entertaining for you. You started looking at different people and you started making up stories about them. And they were fun, or funny, or interesting, but they were good. Like this one guy in particular, you saw him, and he was just a regular older guy. He was probably younger than I was, but you were watching him dealing, at the cashier dealing with his groceries, and you thought to yourself, I bet you he either doesn't have a wife or he's taking care of his sick wife. That's what I thought. And he just looked like he was just really into what he was doing and particular. And you were just having wonderful thoughts. And you did it with a few other people till you got called to go to the next cashier. And then you talked to this lovely cashier. Her name was Macy. And she was a cute little thing, young. And you shared with her what you had just been doing, making up stories about people. And I said, oh, it's just so entertaining. And I said, what's your story? Just making conversation. And she kind of looks at me like it wasn't so good. And I'm like, well, tell me about it if you want to. And so she started telling me about, she wasn't making enough money at Schnucks, and she would be getting a hostess job, and then eventually become a waitress and make tips, and so she could make enough to support herself. So she was kind of happy about that, but there was just a lot going on right now. And I think a lot of it, and she goes, I'm not a big spender. She was so cute. I said, well, I'm not either. But it was such a delightful conversation, and we just really connected. And when I was leaving, I turned around and looked at her, and she was looking at me, and she goes, make sure you come to see me, at the new restaurant she's going to be working at. And I'll try. And it was just such a wonderful connection. And then as I was leaving the store, I had my groceries in the cart and everything. And there was this woman that was kind of like right there. I saw her in my peripheral vision, and I was just going to pass by her with my, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, you got to smile at her. Look at her. So I looked at her, and she gave me the biggest smile. we just connected just for a second. And she goes, hey, how you doing? And I said, fine, since you gave me your smile. And she just looked at me and we just both smiled. It was just so wonderful. I'm like, who wouldn't want this? Who wouldn't want these wonderful connections that you can have with strangers? And oh my God, forbid that you could have it with somebody you know, somebody that you love, somebody that maybe thinks differently than you, but you love them. I'm just like, God, let's just make this world a wonderful place filled with love and open heartedness, that kind of thing. And it's just such a wonderful feeling. I don't have to travel to God's creation to get it. I can get it right here. I mean, it's the greatest thing. And I look forward to being out in the world and talking to strangers. Talking to strangers. I tell people right now, one of my greatest joys is talking to strangers. And now I sit there and make up stories about them, but they're good, they're fun or funny, or they're interesting. I try to keep those negative things that, let's face it, Mary, it's a kind of a human thing to think negatively, because I believe it was something that was a survival thing. To you got to prepare for the worst. That person could be your enemy, so you have to survive. But I don't want to think like that anymore. I want people to see me as a loving person, and I'm not a threat, and therefore they're not a threat. And I just want this world, I want my world, as much as I can affect, to be a better, more loving place. So I just feel like this is good. This is something to write about every day in your regular journal. It's a good thing. And this has never happened to you before to this extreme. It's good. And, with the months coming up, this is what we need to be concentrating on. Absolutely. So I'm not dreading anything. I'm looking forward to it. So that's your talking to today. Don't forget to listen to it.